the people who are doing all that detailed work happy. So.
Right. Well, and that's funny because I've always gravitated towards the people stuff and away from the books and, the logic part of it. My brain is very creative and very empathic. So that was always me. I was always the cheerleader. I was always the, join in, everybody join in, and, on the choreographer, as a kid when we're, doing our little dances on the corner in our roller skates, because it was the 80s.
I was on a roller speed team. We're
oh, love it. So yeah, so that was me being the, the cheerleader and stuff. So, and my mother, who loves math and science and all things logic, we butted heads so badly in my teenage years. So, yeah, so I like I said, I bow down to your brain because I know.
No. We all have a gift.
Very true. That's very true. Absolutely. So since you said you knew you wanted to be a nuclear engineer in 8th grade,
mm-hmm.
Did you ever have an inclination to be an entrepreneur?
No. And in fact, even I still question whether or not I'm cut out for it, to be honest with you.
Yes.
All of them do, because it's hard.
Right.
And it's hard in a different way than working a 9-to-5 job is. I mean, obviously I wasn't happy there and it was hard, but this is a different kind of hard. And it's also I have to learn a lot of things I never thought I would have to learn, right? These aren't things I would normally dig into, right? How to run Facebook Live, how to all of this sort of stuff, right? You suddenly learn you have to become a wealth of knowledge.
Right. And that's why they say entrepreneurs wear many hats,
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've learned very recently is the fact that there's a difference between learning so that you can be involved in a conversation and becoming an expert.
Sure.
And I've decided that I don't want to be an expert in everything. and that there are people out there who do want to be experts in those things. So, you love Facebook Live and you like Facebook ads, come let me talk to you. Because that's not my expertise. If you want to know, the best free tools to start your business, then I'm your girl. But the Facebook ads, and as soon as they talk about algorithms and pixels, and my eyes just roll back in the back of my head, and I'm like, oh no.
What about the web guy? He's like SEOs and security certificates, and you're like,
right,
just make it look pretty and have to be able to do stuff,
right? And just protect me. That's all I want. I don't need to know all of that nuts and bolts stuff, right? So
and
true.
$1 million for a website.
Right. And please no. Yeah. So I feel like there are many hats that we can wear. And like I said, know enough to be involved in the conversation. But I just don't feel like, and sometimes I feel like as entrepreneurs, that's one of the things that we struggle with is we get so bogged down and mired down in the details of one little portion of what we need to do to launch our business that it makes us stop and it stalls us and it, creates that whole, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm not smart enough to do this. This is going to take me forever. It's so complicated. And that's, and that's me. That's when I want to just throw myself on the ground and do one of those temper tantrums and, and then I get up and I'm like, okay. Yes, you have to do the stuff. Absolutely. Wow. So what part of the country do you live in?
I'm currently in Oregon. I'm about an hour and a half south of Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Okay. And is that where you were born and raised? Is that like home?
No, I moved myself and my husband here to take a job as a project manager for a company called New Scale Power, about 5.5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're here. My husband actually currently works there. So I told
Okay.
him on the whole nuclear power thing, and now he works there too. Um, so that's why we came here, and we're here because my husband does have the 9 to 5 job that kind of
The stability.
helps, gives us that stability, right? I mean,
Right.
we obviously, as a financial coach, I took drastic steps to make sure we would be okay when
Right.
I exited that position. But I am security driven, which I think is why I struggle with, is this really what I want to do? Because I like to be secure. I'm a very secure person. And so it was hard for me to take that jump, right? And it's still hard every day, right? When the money isn't coming back in as fast as it was going out initially, which is, I mean, totally expected. But then you live it and it's like, wow, that's
Scary.
harder than I thought it was going to be.
And it's scary. It's very scary.
But harder than I thought it was going to be.
Right, right. And as long as you are open to, my favorite saying is feel the fear and do it anyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I love that you said you're security driven. I love that because I feel like most people are like that and they don't realize that they're like that. You know, they hang their I'm not doing it on, a whole bunch of other reasons. Yeah, oh, what if it doesn't work? And I'm scared my family's going to think I failed. And like right now I work for a very prestigious university, and my mother is like, you are crazy, you're nuts, you're in a specialized field that's growing. And I'm like, Mom, I cry in my car in the morning.
Yep.
It is
Yep.
not worth it. It's not worth it.
At least you only did it in the car.
Right? Well, I did it in the bathroom a couple times. Yeah, I've stubbed my toe on purpose just so that I could cry a little bit, in front of people. I visualized flipping over a table a couple of times in a meeting, and telling my boss what I really thought of him. That's just not a good look. So it's better to just say, you know what? And like you said, it just wasn't the right environment for me. And that's okay, because for some people, it is the right environment.
Exactly. And we need those people. I mean, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur.
I don't
think
either.
if we were, we would not. I mean, how would we get these companies to grow, right? I mean, it's not realistic to think that. But I think that there are people that do need to take that risk, right? That are willing to put themselves out there to try something new and to create a new environment for people that might need to do, maybe that isn't that job isn't the environment, but maybe this one will be the fit, right?
Right. I feel like above all, your happiness, people think, I just got to get through this week until my vacation, or I just need to get through this year until my raise. And I just have to, and if you're trying to find reasons to stay, other than I like my job, I like the people I work with, I feel fulfilled at my position and not stifled. I feel like 9 to 5 jobs are great if you're happy. And I'm not talking about, Sound of Music twirling on the side of a hill happy. I'm just talking about, being able to go to work and feel like what you do matters, and the mission, just that kind of stuff. But I just know too many people who are miserable at their jobs.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons I have really started going into leadership coaching is because of that, right? There's an old saying that people don't quit jobs, they quit managers.
Damn
and
right.
More truth to that than we like to really believe. The people who lead us are incredibly important to whether or not we're satisfied at that job.
That's
I,
right.
I have a client that I work with on some value stuff, and she was trying to maybe change jobs. She's looking at and thinking about it, and I flat out told her the grass isn't greener on the other side of the street. It's just a different shade of green.
Yep.
There's going to be things that you don't like there as well. It's never going to be perfect.
Nope.
And that's okay, as long as what's wrong is acceptable to you, right?
Right.
It can't push all the buttons, right?
Right. There's always going to be a little bit of pain in a situation, and it's just your threshold for pain, and if you're, I mean, some people don't mind. Like, I can't think of anything more that would make me jump out of a second story window, knowing that I'm just going to break my leg and going back to my job.
Yeah, it's probably time to not do that.
Because so many times, and listen, I'm in therapy, so these are not just the first time that I've maybe said these things out loud,
You don't need to call anyone for you. You're
No, I have my therapist on speed dial. Because there's been many times where I've said to myself, oh my gosh, if she knew what I was thinking, she would not be standing that close to me. She would not. In fact, she might not even be in this elevator with me. So, I think I've stayed a little too long, a tad too long, maybe. So this departure I'm looking forward to. I feel this renewed sense of purpose, and I'm just very happy that I've stuck to this decision, because I've gone back and forth. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to have health insurance, and I don't have that every 2 weeks. I know I'm going to have money in my bank, so it's been difficult. But I feel like, because I made this decision 6 months ago, and I've been planning, and I've been putting things in place, I've been cutting back my expenses, and I've been, like I said, creating this wonderful tool called How to Start Your Business for Free and how to maintain it for free, because there are tools out there that you can use to build your business that aren't, $50 a month times 5, So because I've done that, I feel much more prepared for the valleys that are going to come. So,
Good.
So for you, when you say financial coach, yes, I did miss my calling as a comedian. Everybody tells me that. And it's funny because I am the worst. I don't like rejection. I don't like criticism. So I can't imagine getting up and telling a joke and nobody laughing. I would cry. I would leave the stage in hysterics. So,
laugh to be polite.
right. So tell us about your coaching business, and specifically the three questions I ask is, who do you serve, how do you serve them, and why do you serve them?
So I typically serve people that are ready to make a change in their life. They're tired of not knowing where their money went, or they're tired of the way that they are perceived at work or around their colleagues, because that's not where the heart is. But they have to be ready, right? They have to have embraced doing something different. I get a lot of people that are not quite there, right? It sounds really good on paper, and then when they realize that it's work, it's not for them, right? And that's really what I want. I want people who are really ready to do something different. And it's okay not to be ready. I mean, it took me a long time to get ready to do what I did, right? But you have to want to make change, and it doesn't matter whether or not you make a huge amount of money or not. We can all do better things with it if we know where it's going and we're putting it toward a purpose and we're having an intention. And that can be true. That's also true of leadership, right? If we are acting in a way that's intentional with the people that we work with every day, we're going to be a much better leader than if we're just showing up and, throwing something out there.
Right.
So ideally, I look for people that are ready to try something different. They're tired of where they are and they want to try something different and move forward.
Wow, that's awesome. And how do you serve them?
I don't sugarcoat everything. I mean, that's what a coach does, right? I'm there to help you find the truth, whatever that truth is, right? And that can come in the form of facts and figures from where you've been spending your money, or it can come in looking at your performance review and saying, this is how you're perceived. Is that the fact? Is that the way you want the facts to roll out? Right? How is it that you want to change that? So I often hold a mirror up to people. I spend a lot of time trying to find information that they may have and don't want to admit, or that they don't have yet. We have to go find that information. But the first step is to find the information that we need to see the truth. And then there's some educational piece, right? There's some people don't know what a Roth IRA is. Some people don't know that if you don't pay your credit card back, they will sue you. And, you would be surprised. Things that are obvious aren't obvious to everyone. Right. Or when you're micromanaging someone, it's going to make your employees not want to work for you.
Wow.
That's not obvious sometimes, right? Yeah. There are leaders out there who think that that's helping. Right. So there's an educational piece to it, and there's tools that we have to provide, communication tools, budgeting tools, you name it. There's all kinds of tools out there to help you provide that education to get you to see where you're going. And then the last part is I provide hope, and I cheer them on, right? Changing the way you've behaved, regardless of the situation, is incredibly difficult and very hard. It's easy to slide right back into old behavior because it feels good, right? It's familiar, comfortable. So someone needs to be there to say, are you sure? Right. You want to do that? And when they do succeed, you have to celebrate it. Your brain is an amazing tool, and it's got these chemicals that literally are trying to encourage you to do good things. So if you don't reward yourself, you don't get that hit of dopamine that will actually train your brain to want to do more of that same behavior. Right. So somebody's got to be there to go do the woohoo, right?
Yes. That's right. High five. Absolutely. Yes.
And that sounds so goofy, but I'll tell you this quick story. As a project manager, I had a member on my team, supervised folks, and we used to come into status meetings, and whenever they'd finish a document, right, we're talking 100-page document, they're not small accomplishments, I'd go, woo! And at first, they all thought it was kind of Looney Tunes, right? Whatever, Heidi. And then one day I was having kind of an off day, and I just really kind of wanted to get through the meeting and move on. And I didn't give him his woohoo. And he was like, don't I get a woohoo for finishing this? It's crazy powerful, right? I mean, he had waited all day long to confirmation, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely." There's a cheerleading piece, if you will, right?
For sure.
We all want that. We all want to feel like we're loved and accepted, and we've done a good job.
Yeah, for sure. That's so funny because I started at this university in admissions, and that is a sales-driven, metric-based position. And it's all about how many applications you took, how many people you registered. That's what it's all about. But even though you as an admissions rep, you know that that's what management wants, you have to remember that you're talking to a person. And you're not talking to a dollar sign. You're talking to a person. And so my students I remembered their kids' names. I remembered, the important things about their lives. And I was always reprimanded for that. You take too long on your application calls. You didn't need to call that because there's a dialer, and so when you put in your follow-ups, then the dialer actually makes those calls for you. So you log in and you've said 2 weeks ago that you need to call these people and follow up. The dialer does it for you. It's kind of their way of making sure you do exactly what they want you to do.
Right.
And there was a real trick to being able to make a call outside of the dialer. And so if I got a notice that today was one of my students' birthdays, then I would call and I would leave a message and I would, sing my version of Happy Birthday to you, the Stevie Wonder version. And I can't even tell you how many students would call me laughing. And they're like, I played it for my whole office. And they were like, that's your admissions rep for school? But that, making someone feel special and remembered is never wasted. It's never wasted. So I feel like that woohoo, meant a lot more to to that person, but also to the people in the room. So I love that.
It's an amazing thing. I mean, you don't just get, if we want to talk brain science, right? It's not just the person who gets the woohoo that gets the hit of dopamine. The other people in the room can also get a hit of dopamine or serotonin. Serotonin is the leadership chemical. It's what makes you feel proud of people, right? So when you see, when people don't want to go, my husband didn't want to go to his college graduation. And I was like, you have to go do this, not just for you, but for your family, right? So, I mean, yes, it was incredibly meaningful for him to walk across that stage, but it was really meaningful for his dad to see him walk across that stage, right? I mean, that's a whole different level. And they both get that. They get bathed in these chemicals that make you feel really good about yourself, and it leads to great things. It's not just a one-time thing. It's you can build this up over time, and it really can lead to some fascinating behavior change if you accept it.
That's awesome. That's a really good point to make, because when I say celebrate the small wins, I never thought about it at that level. It was really just, for momentum's sake, to say to yourself, okay, I got through that. I did, that I did a good job. I'm proud of that. But to actually know that your body, your brain wants you to do more of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's pretty cool.
There are 3 chemicals in your brain, and if you can use them to your advantage, you're just going to be on fire. Dopamine, right? That's what makes us addicted to things, unfortunately. But you can become addicted to good things.
Right.
Oxytocin, the love chemical, right? This is where you build trust and connection. If you want to have connection with people, you need to get both of your brains bathed in oxytocin at the same time. Touching, sharing moments, giving money. One of the talks that I give for the Rotary here in town is on why giving feels so good. And it's because you release these chemicals. Dopamine, oxytocin, that builds trust in the community. The community trusts you. You trust the people that you're giving to, right? There's this whole place. And so it's quite amazing what you can do if you know how the brain chemicals work, right? I mean, just touching someone's hand can create a whole new level of trust with somebody.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's you should do like a webinar on that or something.
I should.
No, I'm dead serious, because those kind of validation, because there's some people out there like, oh, you're corny or you're silly, these I want to say something else, but I'm going to be nice. These women at work who call me unprofessional, and uneducated, because I choose to be happy and joyful and laugh and tell jokes, and they bring me down.
Yeah.
Like who I am as at my core, I actually, make it small and snuff, and kind of, because they're always like, judgmentally looking at me and judging me and, doing that, kind of, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so if it works for good, I'm assuming that it also works the opposite, if someone is giving that off. So when people say, that you're not responsible for other people's reactions to your, what you say, but if you're negative and you're giving that off, it's hard for people to not absorb that and not, feed off of that. So I wonder if there's is there, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like, is there a dip in one of those chemicals that you can say that's the reason for depression or for, what I mean?
Mhm. So there are studies done, and I don't have them off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
There was one study that was done. There was I can't remember. I'm thinking it was in Russia. There was a lot of babies that were left in an orphanage, babies, right? And they were left with no touching. Nobody touched them for almost years, right? They were taken care of, but nobody held them or loved them or snuggled them.
Right.
And their brains developed differently than most people's. So oxytocin is really, really important to building emotional resiliency in people from a young age, right? They're not joking when the doctor says you should hold the baby to your chest. That skin-to-skin contact bathes both the mother's brain and the child's brain in oxytocin, and that actually spurns brain development. There's tons and tons of studies that have been going about on this. Well, so yes, oxytocin is one of the things that could. I don't know these people. We would never know brain scan, right, or study, but it's possible that they don't necessarily have the same ability to make connections, because if you don't start doing it from a young age, it's very difficult to build that trust in those connections as you get older.
Wow.
But what you said about it, people are giving off that energy and it brings us down. We're also hardwired to recognize threat, right? I mean, think about when we were cave people, right? We had to be negative. We had to be suspicious of everything all the time, or we would die. Right? You don't want to be walking up to the tiger going, "Oh, here, kitty, kitty." To
the saber-toothed tiger.
What's that? Like, that's going to eat me. I mean, right? So we're kind of hardwired to go negative. And so it can be challenging to stay positive, especially around people that always want to go negative. Think about it. It's much easier to criticize something than to think about what went right. Right?
Yeah.
Even in corporate structure, we're trained to do lessons learned, right? How many of those lessons learned are what went right?
Right.
Most of the time, it's a whole list of all the things we did wrong and how we should do it better next time, right?
Wow.
Not a whole list of everything look at this was fabulous. Most of the time they don't write all that down.
Yeah.
They don't do pause evaluations on what went right.
Right.
We focus on the negative. So it's much easier for our brains to go that way because we are trained to recognize threat. But if you can get people like you that are always happy and bringing that light, that's contagious too, right?
Yeah.
They may not want to admit it, and it may take them to break that shell off, but eventually.
That's funny. Wow. And every time, I do that, and like my honey will be at the grocery store, and the minute I'm in the grocery store line, either the lady in front of me or the lady in back of me, we start to talk, and then it's like, the lady over there and then the lady over there. And then there's like the four of us and we're just talking like we've known each other all our lives. And my honey will look at me and go, I'll be in the car. Because he's so not like that. He's so not like that. And my laugh, like when my kids were in high school and they would play sports, my youngest daughter loved it because I'd be the loudest one in the stands. My oldest daughter, not so much.
Not so much.
She would be like, Mom, you're so loud. I'm like, well, I never want you to have to look for me in the stands. You know exactly where I am.
Sorry for your benefit.
Oh, man. So how can people find you, send you emails? Do you have like a strategy session offer that you do? Tell us about that part.
Yeah, so I start all of my personal one-on-one clients with a consultation. Coaching, it can be very intimate regardless of topic, and so there needs to be a really good fit, right? We need to have a connection they need to understand that I'm going to love them enough to tell them the truth and to hurt their feelings if I need to, right? And so we need to make sure that we can connect in that way. But we do start with a consultation to make sure that's clear. We do also offer, through Brain Squared Solutions, we offer corporate training on a myriad of leadership topics, how to lead as a coach. Coaching skills for leaders are really great. Motivational interviewing, so that you can connect with people, things like that. So there's a lot of different ways to interact with our content.
Awesome.
And yes, they can reach me through my Facebook page, Brain Squared Solutions, or Glunz Financial Coaching. Either way is a portal to me and my organizations. And my email is glunzcoaching@gmail.com. Pretty simple. Just trying to make it easy for people to find me that way as well. So.
Right. Awesome. So where are you marketing yourself right now? Is it mainly through word of mouth, or is it through actual agencies?
I do a lot of my one-on-one coaching word of mouth. Mm-hmm. I do have a Facebook page. I have a website. Again, it's a very personal medium, so I don't really. I don't use a lot of my advertising efforts in that way.
Right.
Get out into the community. I try to speak as often as I can. I love giving talks. It's something I learned about myself as I became an entrepreneur, that I like to publicly speak, which was shocking to me. Not a skill I thought I had, but I really like it. So I'll talk out in the community. I go to a lot of networking events in the community. I feel like I'm better in person and one-on-one or over the phone, in a more intimate medium than just memes and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I can see that. It has been, I have so many more questions, but I don't want to take up all of your time. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me? Did you have last thing that you want to say at all?
I just want to say thank you. This was a great opportunity to connect with you, to learn more about you, and thank you for doing what you're doing. I think this is a great project. I'm really excited to see how it turns out for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Heidi. Well, we're going to end the session now. And it's glunzcoaching@gmail.com. It's Brain Squared
Solutions.
Okay. Brain Squared Solutions.
Yes.
And Glunz Financial Coaching, right?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to put all of that in the description below, so that even when people watch this on the replay, they'll still be able to reach out to you. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.